Ms. Neale, you'll be
Yes.
taking this one next. The next questions have to do, back to our cultural competency and the racial diversity within our schools. So I'm going to start with a statement that is, there are not enough black teachers in our schools. The questions are, why don't we have more African American teachers teaching in the Charlottesville schools? And why not partner with the African American Teaching Fellows to identify diverse candidates when selecting teachers and ensure a healthy representation of diversity?
I am familiar with the African American Teaching Fellows, and I will admit I thought we did partner with them, and it sounds like a very smart idea, so thank you for whoever made that suggestion. I have seen that our Human Resources Department, they list, and it's in the school board report, all the things that they do to recruit minority teachers. And as it was said earlier by someone else here, it's my understanding it's very challenging. So I think that the school board has to continue, and I know it's in the strategic plan, that a diverse workplace is very important. So I think we have to continue to emphasize that we want our teachers and staff to be reflective of our community and keep working at it. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McKeever.
Yes, I do believe that we partner with the African American Teaching Fellows, and it has been a very useful partnership. We have hired many of the fellows in our school system, and it's been, I think, a great. Those fellows have been a great addition to our school system. And I know that they would want me to put a plug in for their gala that's at the end of this month, so feel free to participate in that. Keeping young people in Charlottesville is kind of hard. You know, it's hard to meet a mate. It's hard to, so if you're a young person who's just out of college and getting into the workforce, and we lose people because of that. It's hard to keep people here. And so I think we lose good teachers as a result of sometimes the enticement of big cities somewhere else. I don't think that's acceptable. I'd like to keep them and see how we can make it more attractive for teachers to stay in our city.
Thank you, Mr. McKee.
I wish there were an easy answer to this one. There's not. As we've already touched on a couple of times, it's really hard to find African American candidates. The market is competitive. Teacher schools, there are not enough graduates coming out of teacher training programs. So it's often an uphill battle. I think the key is to continue to ensure that it's a priority, to make sure that we're not using those difficulties as an excuse. That's something the board can do, is keep on the administration to make sure that we're doing everything possible. I think African American Teacher Fellows are critical and highly, in favor of working even more closely with them. Get out there and help them build their program, folks. This is one of those community partnerships. The other thing is making sure that our school culture is one that teachers feel rewarded and respected, because that's how we get people who are desirable in other divisions, we can keep them.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn.
Thank you. The African American Teaching Fellows sounds like a fantastic organization. I hope to learn more about them and find out how we can partner with them to increase diversity in the schools. I think one reason there might not be enough black teachers in the schools is because the teaching force in this area and in America has historically been white. And once teachers start teaching and they feel comfortable in their jobs, they tend to stay there. And we have teachers who have gained more or less tenure, so to speak. They earn their teaching licenses, they keep teaching, they renew their licenses, and they stay put for a long time. Somebody I used to work with retired just last year, and she had been teaching since 1972 at the same school for like 39 years. And back then in the 60s and 70s, people of color had fewer opportunities. The white people had more opportunities. They're capable of taking leadership roles, which they still hold. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Laufer.
I see this as a challenge. I know we're recruiting at historically African American universities. We're going to job fairs. Anyway, but I think some of it has to do with the quality of life. I know, when you're young and you're coming out of school, you really want the social activities. And I think it's hard to get people to come to a small town, but to kind of combat that, we need to support our teachers. I think we could work with Curry School in bringing more than just the African American Fellows Program. There's Return Peace Corps Fellows programs. There's a lot of other programs that the Curry School in particular could be tapping to get new recruits into our area.
Thank you. Ms. Kadija?
Well, I believe that our school board has been actively working to recruit more African American teachers. But what I've heard from a lot of African American teachers is that this is not a very welcoming community for middle class African Americans. And I think that's a fundamental problem that we have to address through perhaps the dialogue on race more aggressively, or I'm not sure what's being done about it, but that is just something that really resonated for me. Why come here is in a lot of people's minds. Thank you.
Ms. Blount?
Thank you. Well, it's already been stated that Charlottesville's community might not be as hospitable in some regards to young African American people considering setting up a family here. I think in the efforts that the City Council is initiating and looking at addressing some of the ills that occurred in Charlottesville's past, that more people will begin to see Charlottesville as a welcoming community to African American citizens. I think also the pool of African American teachers is very small. They're going to cities like Richmond, Atlanta, Virginia Beach, and that's just the reality of it. And so that pool is not large anyway, and it can be, at some of these recruitment fairs, it can be a grab fest, is what I've heard, of trying to get the recruits here to Charlottesville. And money isn't always the deciding factor there. And the event is October 28th at Farmington, the first annual Johnny Baker Legacy Award. We do partner with AATF.
Can you just go ahead and promote something that helps support African American teachers coming to Charlottesville? Is that what you were talking about, the October 28th?
Yes, that's October 28th at Farmington, and it's the first annual Johnny Baker Legacy Award. And we have honoring Dr. Mary Futrell as our keynote speaker. I'm on the planning committee for that, and also John Hunter is the recipient, and also Deanna Mitchell.
Just wanted people to jot that down if you're interested.
October 28th.